have a Chevy or GMC truck, this is for you.
Ford's fight back against sinking profits begins today with the unveiling of its new F-150 truck.
What if the brands you thought could never fall already have? From Detroit to Tokyo, the biggest names in pickups are unraveling. Engines seizing, transmissions collapsing, families left stranded, and bills piling high. Nobody's admitting it, but the collapse has already begun. So why now? Who let this happen? And which so-called legend is the final domino about to fall? Because by the time this countdown ends, you'll know which truck might take your future down with it. Chevrolet Colorado. Every truck fan knows the thrill of owning a mid-size pickup that promises both rugged strength and weekday comfort. But for many Chevrolet Colorado buyers, that excitement quickly turned into regret. This particular generation of the Colorado was designed to hit the sweet spot between affordability and capability. Chevrolet wanted it to be the truck that could run errands in town, haul gear to the job site, and still look sharp on a Saturday night. On paper, it seemed like a balanced offering. In practice, it earned a reputation that even some dealerships quietly admitted was more trouble than triumph. Drivers began to notice serious problems long before the odometer reached the 25,000-mile mark. The 8-speed automatic transmission, which Chevrolet promoted as smooth and modern, often felt confused. Owners reported hard shifts, hesitation, and a jerky lurch when pulling away from a stoplight. Technical service bulletins were released, software was reprogrammed, and torque converters replaced. But the complaints kept stacking up. It was not just the gearbox either. Premature rear differential wear created whining noises at highway speeds and vibrations that shook confidence. Inside the cab, everyday comfort became a point of frustration. Air conditioning systems failed to deliver reliable cooling during hot summers. Heater fans gave out early in cold states. Even more troubling were reports of rainwater seeping into the cabin. That moisture quickly turned into mold under carpets and corrosion in the wiring harness. Once electrical gremlins set in, strange issues like flickering dashboard lights and failing power seats started to appear. Chevrolet Colorado buyers wanted a dependable mid-size partner. Instead, they received costly repairs and endless dealership visits. And if a smaller truck struggled this badly, just imagine what kind of chaos could erupt when a bigger nameplate stumbles. Ford Ranger. Sometimes a legendary name comes back only to remind us that history does not always repeat itself for the better. The Ford Ranger had once been an icon of the mid-size pickup world, a no-nonsense work partner trusted by farmers, contractors, and everyday drivers through the 80s and 90s. After an 8-year absence from American showrooms, Ford brought the Ranger back in the model year 2019 with promises of modern engineering, turbocharged performance, and smart technology. On the surface, it looked like a triumphant revival. In reality, the truck returned with more headaches than heroics, leaving many dealerships fielding frustrated calls from owners instead of celebrating sales victories. Under the hood, Ford relied on a 2.3-liter EcoBoost turbocharged inline-4 engine paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission. That combination sounded advanced and efficient, but reality told another story. Drivers reported premature timing chain wear, coolant leaking into cylinders, and misfires when towing. The turbocharger sometimes lagged, making highway merges unpredictable. Some engines failed outright before the odometer even passed 30,000 miles, forcing complete replacements that cost owners both time and trust. The transmission also created widespread frustration. Instead of smooth shifting, the 10-speed gearbox produced abrupt downshifts, hesitation between gears, and loud clunks during stop-and-go driving. Software updates tried to patch the issue, but many trucks never drove consistently right. Inside the cab, electrical quirks added insult to injury. Flickering infotainment screens, malfunctioning driver assistance alerts, and dashboard lights warning of faults that did not exist. Interior quality also disappointed, with fraying seat fabric and rattling panels appearing far earlier than expected. Ford promised the return of a rugged, mid-size hero. Instead, the Ranger comeback revealed the cracks in modern pickup reliability. And if this resurrection faltered so badly, just wait until we shine the spotlight on a futuristic full-size truck that turned into an experiment gone wrong. If you're nodding along or shaking your head at these breakdown stories, hit that subscribe button right now and share your own truck nightmare in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else avoid the same expensive mistake. Ford F-150 Lightning. Bold promises can quickly fade when real-world results fail to measure up. That is exactly what happened with the Ford F-150 Lightning, a truck Ford Motor Company heralded as the revolutionary future of American pickups. The idea was enticing: an all-electric, full-size truck built on the shoulders of the nation's best-selling vehicle. Advertisements showcased instant torque, whisper-quiet performance, and more than 300 miles of projected range. It was meant to free owners from fuel pumps and redefine what a workhorse could be in the 21st century. Yet for many customers, this innovation turned into an expensive experiment filled with stress, setbacks, and service delays. Actual actual ownership experiences revealed that the Lightning could not consistently deliver the promised distance. Consumer testing and driver reports showed most owners averaging between 180 and 220 miles in ordinary conditions, with range plummeting further in cold climates or while towing. Battery degradation added another frustration, with some early trucks losing nearly 20% of capacity within the first year. Charging, once sold as convenient, often became a nightmare. At home, certain chargers overheated or triggered electrical issues, while public fast chargers frequently left drivers waiting or stranded. Technology hiccups made matters worse. Over-the-air updates arrived frequently, but instead of solving glitches, they often created new ones. Owners described frozen touchscreens, malfunctioning driver aids, and in extreme cases, loss of steering assist until the truck was restarted. Even dealerships struggled, with more than half admitting they lacked adequate tools and trained technicians to handle serious electric drivetrain problems. Trucks sometimes sat for months awaiting fixes. Ford F-150. Lightning buyers expected a glimpse of tomorrow. Instead, many found themselves beta testers paying luxury-level prices. And if the electric dream turned sour, imagine the disappointment when a brand once defined by bulletproof reliability crumbled under its own redesign. Toyota Tundra. Loyalty can be shattered faster than steel when promises are broken, and that is exactly what unfolded with the Toyota Tundra after its major redesign. For decades, Toyota earned an almost mythic reputation for building pickups that outlasted competitors, with many older Tundras and Tacomas running well beyond 200,000 miles. Buyers trusted the badge, believing that when it said Toyota on the tailgate, it meant durability without compromise. So when the all-new Tundra arrived in the model year 2022, expectations were sky high. Instead of delivering another chapter of reliability, Toyota shocked the market with one of the most disappointing rollouts in its truck-building history. Gone was the tried-and-true 5.7-liter V8 engine, replaced with a 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged V6, offered with or without a complicated hybrid system called I-Force Max. On paper, horsepower climbed and efficiency numbers looked promising. On the road, however, the engine suffered catastrophic failures far earlier than buyers imagined. Turbochargers blew out, intercoolers leaked, and in some cases, entire engines seized before reaching 25,000 miles. Hybrid-equipped trucks fared even worse, with battery cooling problems, limp mode shutdowns, and electrical faults multiplying the misery. Dealerships, once confident in Toyota's engineering, admitted they lacked the advanced tools or trained technicians needed to diagnose these complex systems. Surveys indicated that nearly 3 out of every 4 service departments were unprepared, forcing owners to wait weeks or even months for critical repairs. Adding insult, quality control slipped across the board. Chipped paint, rattling interiors, misaligned panels, and squeaks coming from brand new trucks fresh off the lot. The Toyota Tundra once symbolized unshakable dependability. Now it stands as a painful reminder that even legends can fall. And if Toyota's collapse of confidence felt dramatic, the story of a heavy-duty American workhorse draining wallets comes next. Chevrolet Silverado, 2500 and 3500 heavy-duty. For generations, the heavy-duty Silverado carried the weight of America's toughest jobs, but the most recent versions have been weighed down by breakdowns instead of cargo. Marketed as unstoppable workhorses for ranchers, contractors, and anyone needing brute force, the Silverado 2500 and 3500 with the 6.6-liter Duramax diesel engine looked like ironclad champions. General Motors boasted about massive towing numbers and reliability rooted in decades of diesel heritage. Yet owners quickly learned that this supposed powerhouse was more of a fragile giant, leaving trucks sidelined and drivers frustrated. The heart of the trouble lies within the Duramax itself. Common reports include blown fuel injectors, cracked cylinder heads, and turbocharger malfunctions, all often occurring before 40,000 miles. Even more frustrating is the diesel exhaust fluid system, created to satisfy strict emissions rules. When that system fails, the truck enters limp mode, capping speed at 55 miles per hour until costly repairs are performed. For owners depending on these trucks to haul equipment across long highways, that limitation is not just inconvenient, it is devastating. Transmission woes add another layer of pain. The Allison-branded 10-speed automatic, advertised as bulletproof, has suffered torque converter failures and full breakdowns, requiring complete replacement. sometimes before 50,000 miles. Repair bills climb past $8,000, and warranty coverage often leaves gaps. Dealers report service bays stacked with waiting Silverados, some sitting for weeks without diagnosis due to parts shortages. Surveys suggested that more than 3 out of every 4 General Motors service departments experienced significant backlogs. What was once considered the king of diesel muscle now eats through wallets like rust on unprotected steel. And if heavy-duty strength can crumble under pressure, the next chapter reveals how another workhorse brand finds itself gasping for air beneath its own emission systems. Ram 2500 and 3500. Powerful reputations can collapse when complexity outweighs dependability, and the recent Ram heavy-duty lineup has become proof of that bitter lesson. The Ram 2500 and 3500 trucks, equipped with the 6.7-liter Cummins inline-6 diesel engine or the 3.5-liter Cummins inline-6 diesel engine, 0.0-liter Eco Diesel V6 option, were marketed as indestructible beasts for towing, hauling, and conquering commercial work sites. For decades, the Cummins badge stood as a mark of pride, and loyal owners swore by Ram's blend of muscle and durability. Unfortunately, the modern versions are plagued with failures that no rugged image can disguise. At the center of frustration sits the emission system. Diesel particulate filters, selective catalytic reduction units, and diesel exhaust fluid injectors create a complicated web that too often fails. Drivers report frequent regeneration problems, fluid leaks, and sudden limp mode activations that lock the truck down before even reaching 30,000 miles. For a contractor on a deadline, having a work rig stuck at the roadside is more than a nuisance. It is lost income. The 3.0-liter Eco Diesel V6 has fared even worse. Owners describe oil dilution, timing chain failures, and coolant seeping into engine blocks, sometimes leading to complete engine replacements. Class action lawsuits and lemon law buybacks have followed, particularly in states such as California, Texas, and Ohio. Service departments cannot keep up. Independent surveys found that more than 8 out of every 10 Ram dealerships reported warranty repair delays longer than 21 days. Parts shortages, lack of specialized tools, and limited technician training only add to customer anger. The Ram 2500 and 3500 were supposed to be unstoppable titans. Instead, they now symbolize how emissions-era technology can strangle legendary engines. Next comes a so-called premium truck, where high price tags cannot mask collapsing engines and collapsing consumer trust. GMC Sierra 1500. Prestige and premium badging mean nothing when the foundation beneath them begins to crumble, and the General Motors Company Sierra 1500 proves exactly that point. Introduced as the upscale sibling to the Chevrolet Silverado, the Sierra carried a higher price tag, flashier trims, and promises of luxury combined with rugged power. Buyers were led to believe that this pickup would deliver refinement without sacrificing capability. However, what owners often discovered was a truck riddled with problems, turning that premium image into an expensive gamble rather than a secure investment. The most notorious issue centers around the engines. Between 2019 and 2023, countless Sierra models equipped with the 5.3-liter and 6.2-liter gasoline V8 engines suffered from catastrophic lifter and valve train failures. These engines featured active fuel management and dynamic fuel management systems designed to save fuel by shutting down cylinders during light driving. Instead of efficiency, drivers got collapsed lifters, bent push rods, and misfiring cylinders, sometimes before reaching 40,000 miles. Repairs often required complete engine teardowns, costing thousands and destroying confidence. Transmission problems added more fuel to the fire. The 10-speed automatic gearbox has been notorious for harsh shifts, hesitation, and sudden power loss. Even after software updates and technical service bulletins, the complaints continued, leaving many Sierra owners worried about long-distance reliability. Interior frustrations stacked on top, cracked dashboards, loose seat trim, and electrical glitches like flickering driver screens or failed trailer brake controllers. For a truck priced at more than $65,000 in many trims, this lack of dependability felt like betrayal. The Sierra 1500 shows how a premium badge can become a liability. If an upscale pickup collapses this easily, imagine the chaos when its higher volume sibling faces even deeper reliability nightmares. Nissan Titan. Ambition without execution can be the downfall of any brand, and the Nissan Titan has become one of the clearest examples of that painful truth. When Nissan introduced the Titan to the American full-size pickup market, the goal was to carve out a serious share of a space long dominated by Ford, Chevrolet, and Ram. The second-generation Titan, refreshed in the model year 2017, was meant to combine bold styling, V8 power, and an attractive warranty to lure loyal domestic truck buyers. For a brief moment, it looked like Nissan might finally challenge the Detroit Giants, but by the time the model year 2023 2023 rolled around, many dealerships had already reduced or eliminated Titan inventory altogether. The truck's problems ran deeper than low sales. Mechanical frustrations cropped up early, with the 5.6-liter Endurance 5.8 engine proving thirsty on fuel and prone to random stalling issues. The 7-speed automatic transmission often delivered clunky shifts or abrupt hesitation, leading to complaints about jerky drivability. In addition, the Titan's steering and suspension components developed premature wear, leaving some owners with repairs before reaching 50,000 miles. For buyers expecting a bulletproof work truck, this felt like a bait and switch. The Nissan Titan was supposed to be Nissan's warrior in the American truck wars. Instead, it faded into irrelevance. And if this failed challenger disappointed, the final chapter exposes a truck that overstayed its welcome and punished loyal buyers for daring to believe in a bargain. Before we reach the final truck on this list, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you never miss when we expose hidden truths the dealerships don't want you to see. Join our community, stay informed, and protect yourself from the next big failure. Ram 1500 Classic. Clinging to the past can sometimes feel comforting, but in the case of the Ram 1500 Classic, that nostalgia came with a heavy price tag. When Ram introduced a new generation of its flagship pickup, the company made the unusual decision to keep selling the older design alongside it, labeling it a classic and pitching it as a budget-friendly alternative. From the model year 2020 through the model year 2023, the Ram 1500 Classic remained on dealer lots, tempting buyers with lower sticker prices and familiar styling. However, what looked like a cost-saving choice on paper turned into a mechanical nightmare in the real world. The most notorious issue centered on the 5.7-liter Hemi 5.8 engine, equipped with a multi-displacement system designed to improve fuel economy by shutting down cylinders. Instead of efficiency, owners reported loud valve train ticking, collapsed lifters, bent pushrods, and even destroyed camshafts. Many of these catastrophic problems appeared before 50,000 miles, forcing costly repairs or full engine teardowns. The 3.6-liter Pentastar 5.6 was not free of issues either, showing problems with timing chain stretch and oil cooling systems under heavy use. Transmission troubles compounded the frustration. The 8-speed automatic gearbox, while marketed as modern, frequently produced delayed engagement, harsh shifts, and sudden downshifts while cruising. Software updates attempted to smooth out the behavior, but mechanical failures still slipped through, leaving owners without reliable transportation. Inside the cabin, cheap plastics, rattling panels, and glitchy infotainment systems reminded buyers that this was a truck frozen in time, yet still demanding near full-size prices. The Ram 1500 Classic stands as proof that keeping an outdated design alive can backfire spectacularly. And with that, the countdown ends, exposing the trucks that even dealerships hesitate to sell. You've now seen the trucks even dealerships are backing away from. Proof that not every shiny badge means strength. Protect your wallet, protect your time, and protect your pride. Smash that like button if this opened your eyes, drop your story in the comments, and most importantly, hit subscribe, because every week we uncover the truths manufacturers hide, and the next video could be the one that saves you thousands.